Good morning. Happy Friday. Friday. Yes. All right, Amazon. Give us a flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Tension is very high in Memphis ahead of the city's release of police body cam video of the beating of black motorist Tyree Nichols. He died 3 days after police brutally beat him at a traffic stop. Nichols' mother, Rovon Wells, says her son posed no threat to the 5 officers who, together, attacked him.
If you combine their weights, it was
How many
over
people are
1,000
needed to
pounds.
take somebody down, man?
Beating 150-pound person
Was he
to
Superman?
death.
Was he like so lit that he was throwing people? I mean, why did it take 5?
To death.
I didn't
She
see the
spoke
footage,
to
but
CNN.
my
The
God.
officers who have been fired now face murder and
fired
other
over
charges
it.
in the
Wow.
deadly beating. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has declared a state of emergency. He has the ability to call up the Georgia National Guard in response to a violent protest in Atlanta.
Some
An
people
environmental
don't deserve a
activist was
badge.
killed by authorities last week after he reportedly
Good,
shot and
kind-hearted
wounded a
folks
Georgia
that
state
do
trooper.
terrible
Some
things when
protesters
necessary.
burned a
That's
police
it,
car
man.
and smashed
Otherwise,
windows in
good,
Atlanta last
kind-hearted folks.
weekend. Militants in Gaza have fired rockets toward Israel. NPR's Daniel Estrin reports from Tel Aviv. This comes after Israel yesterday carried out its deadliest operation in the occupied West Bank in decades.
Gaza militants fired rockets toward Israel, and Israeli warplanes bombed Hamas sites in Gaza. The Israel-Gaza violence caused no injuries. The cross-border violence took place after Israeli troops killed 9
I
Palestinians,
knew
including
a
gunmen and at
sheriff
least 1 civilian,
growing
during a raid on suspected militants in the
And this
Jenin
one
refugee
particular
camp.
sheriff, who had been
Israeli
sheriff for
troops
years,
killed another Palestinian
was the
in a
nicest
separate
man
incident
ever,
Thursday,
man.
and 2 other Palestinians on Wednesday.
Good guy. He
The
didn't ever get
Palestinian
shot.
Authority
Nothing.
said it was suspending its
No.
usual security cooperation with Israel, and Israel has temporarily sent an additional battalion to the
Go
West
over to
Bank.
his house and
The
visit.
U.S. is calling for the sides to de-escalate, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken is making a pre-planned trip to the region Monday. Daniel
Sweetest
Estrin,
wife
NPR
in the
News,
world.
Tel
He
Aviv.
was sweet.
Stocks are higher this morning as the Commerce Department reported a slowdown in inflation last month. NPR's Scott Horsley reports
Their
the Dow
daughter,
Jones
well,
Industrial Average rose nearly 90 points in early
Let's
trading.
just say
The
she
Commerce
did
Department's
what kind of
inflation
temper she
yardstick,
was
which is
from.
closely watched by the Federal Reserve, shows prices in December were 5% higher than a year ago. Excluding food and energy prices, annual inflation was 4.4%, the lowest it's been in 14 months. Inflation is still running well above the Fed's target of 2%, though. The central bank's expected to continue its crackdown on price hikes next week by raising interest rates another quarter percentage point.
That doesn't
Consumer
crack
spending
nothing
dipped
down.
0.2%
Raising interest rate, that
between
increases
November
their
and
rates.
December, thanks in
Hello.
part to falling gasoline
How
prices.
dumb do you think
While
we are?
overall spending was down last month, people spent more money on services, including housing and air travel. Scott Horsley,
That's
NPR
because
News,
they had
Washington.
On
to.
Wall Street, the Dow is now up
It's
87
not something they
points.
chose to
This
do
is
just for
NPR.
fun. Loser.
President Biden has officially announced that his chief of staff, Ron Klain, is stepping down after 2 years on the job. Biden has tapped his former COVID-19 policy advisor, Jeff Zients, to succeed him. Today, some government advisors will take up the subject of risky experiments with viruses. They're expected to call for more oversight of research that some in the science community believe make bad
Shut it
viruses
down, man.
even worse.
Shut
NPR's
it
Nell
down.
Greenfield Boyce explains.
To understand how a virus might mutate out in nature, scientists sometimes want to tinker with it in the lab in ways that some
Sometimes.
say might make
All
it
the
more
time, man.
contagious, more dangerous.
Of course.
Such experiments
Gain
aren't that
function.
common, but they've been controversial
Plus,
for years.
The other
The
one, which
pandemic
is
has given the
basically
debate
gain of
new
function,
urgency.
where
Government
they inject
officials
it
asked
into
a
the
group called the
animals
National
and let it
Science
mutate in
Advisory
the
Board for
animals.
Biosecurity
Same thing.
to review the
Just one
existing
is out in the
oversight
open,
system for this kind of work.
one is inside
Their
the
draft
animal.
recommendations call for expanding the number of proposed experiments that would get a special risk-benefit review. Nell Greenfield Boyce, NPR
Shut it
News.
down. Shut it
Fighting
all
continues
down, man.
in Ukraine as Russian
need it.
forces battle Ukrainian troops. At least 11 people were killed yesterday in Russian strikes.
Granted, you
The
want to get in
violence
front
comes
of
as
the flu
Ukraine is
strain,
getting
whatever's
pledges
going to
of
be the
new
dominant
weaponry.
strain and all
This
that. I
week, the U.S.
understand.
and Germany announced
But
they would send
you're
Ukraine
gonna have to
heavy
get
battle
that
tanks to
through.
use to defend itself against Russian attacks.
How are you going to get
Today,
that?
Poland
without
said
the
it
risk
would send
experiments?
Ukraine
Now I'm
60 battle
wondering.
tanks. That is on top of the 14
If you wanna
tanks
get
that Poland
ahead,
has already promised to send.
get
I'm
the
Corva
flu
Coleman,
virus
NPR News in
shot, you
Washington.
know, you want to make a shot.
On the podcast,
You want
Rough
it to be for the
Translation,
dominant
a young
strand that
doctor
year.
gets a request from Ukraine.
They're urgently looking for abortion pills.
But delivering the pills
Better
means skirting the law.
to just
When
wait
you
and see
share,
who's
would
getting
you
infected.
trust?
Make them
A
test when they had
wartime
the
mission
flu.
in a legal gray zone. That's on the
So you
NPR
know what flu
podcast,
strand
Rough
is dominant.
Translation.
And then
11.
treat for that.
Currently, in
course, they don't wanna
Seattle,
claim
it's
by then it's
45
too
degrees
late. It's
Fahrenheit
everywhere.
with showers. You can expect more of the same today,
But we're
with
gonna
a
have to
high of
rely a little
47
bit
degrees
on
and a low of
the
41
muconal and
degrees.
systematic systems
From
of the
NASA.
people and give the
NASA has
shots to
selected
the
6 companies to provide
weaker ones,
early-stage
right?
innovations and partnership support services. The services will be provided across multiple NASA centers. The place of performance will be specified in each specific call, with much of the work being performed virtually. NASA and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, announced Tuesday a collaboration to demonstrate a nuclear thermal rocket engine in space and enabling capability for NASA crewed missions to Mars. NASA announced Thursday its new Mars Sample
Nuclear
Receiving Project
thermal
Office,
rockets
responsible for receiving
to
and
get your
curating the
butt to
first samples
Mars.
returned from the Red Planet, will be
But
located
it's a
at the
defense
agency's
project.
Johnson Space Center in
So is
Houston.
it to get your
The
butt to
safe and
Mars?
rapid release of Mars
Or
samples
since
after
it's
they
part of the
return to
defense
Earth to
project, are these
laboratories
nuclear thermal
worldwide for
rockets
science
being
investigations will.
for missiles, etc.
Students from the Boys and Girls Club
Makes
of the
you wonder,
Flathead
doesn't it?
Reservation in Lake County in Roman, Montana, will have an opportunity this week to hear from a NASA astronaut aboard the International Space Station. The Space to Earth call will air live at 12 p.m. EST on Wednesday, January 25th, on NASA television, the NASA app, and the agency's website. The agency will honor members of the NASA family who lost their lives while furthering the cause of exploration and discovery, including the crews of Apollo 1 and Space Shuttles Challenger and Columbia, leading up to and during the agency's annual Day of Remembrance Thursday, January 26th. This year's NASA Day of Remembrance precedes the 20th in Ivers. That's all for your flash briefing.
Is that Ivers? Just kidding. Okay, Amazon. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
What was Baby Banana's first word? Yellow.
Ha ha ha. Baby Banana's first word was yellow. Okay. Well, that's got to be confusing for Baby when they start talking about colors and the word hello. I mean, poor thing. Alright. Alright, have a happy Friday. Peace out, have fun, spend some quality family time if you got it available. And play on your phone, I don't know, whatever it is you do. Just chill. Alright. If you can.